Hi there, this is Tim, and in this video I'm going to do a quick kind of opinion review video of the Oculus Rift DK2. I came into this as a big skeptic. I didn't believe in this kind of technology. I've seen it fail enough times in the past and read about it failing enough times in the past to have not really believed it was going to work this time either. And I see 3D movies as a bit of a gimmick. I've never got anything extra out of a 3D movie compared to the 2D version of the same movie. And that's basically how I came into this. I came into this as a huge skeptic. And perhaps that will give you an idea of how impressive or unimpressive this technology is when you know that these opinions are coming from someone that really didn't have any confidence in it whatsoever. Now, the first thing that's actually asked quite a bit on sites and forums and things like that is that the comfort level. Well, this weighs next to nothing. Honestly, it is so light in my hands, and when it's on your head, I don't even notice that it's on my head. It's I haven't had to adjust any of these straps at all. I haven't had to adjust anything. I've literally put it over my glasses. You can see that I wear glasses, and I've had absolutely no issues with the kind of default setup of everything. I've not had to do anything, and it's completely comfortable. I don't even know that I'm wearing it. I've seen people say that, you know, they can get a little bit sweaty, things like that. Well, I've never really suffered from that, except with sim racing. For some reason, I think it's the concentration level. If I am racing a racing simulation, I will sweat buckets, and I will sweat from places I didn't even know I could sweat. But with the Oculus Rift, I never really found myself doing that, and I think it could be that eventually, you know, like the foam is going to get pretty nasty. So I would hope that at some point they offer kind of replacement straps, replacement foam. That's really all I can say about, you know, the comfort of the actual device. Next is the actual setup. Well, the hardware was really easy to set up. I mean, you just plug everything in where the instructions tell you have to plug it in, and I basically plugged it into the back of my computer and, you know, one of the output slots from my video card, and there it was. I mean, I installed the software drivers, everything like that. The hardware itself, really easy. And if you're used to PCs, for example, where you have to plug in different devices, you have all sorts of different things going on, I don't think you'll have a problem setting up the Oculus Rift at all. On the software side, I actually had a lot of problems, and basically that's due to the fact that at this point, obviously things are still in development, and each piece of software that I tried seemed to work a little bit differently. There was certain things that I would have to run an executable and like run the Oculus Rift as kind of monitor number 2 in Windows, and then there was other software that it would go directly to it, and that was the only way that I could get it to run, was by running a special executable that went directly to the Rift. And then there was other software that neither of those things worked, and what I actually had to end up doing, because I wanted to capture footage as well, was take my 1920 by 1080 resolution screen and basically make it a 1080, like turn it 90 degrees, and then basically I would have the dual image that's normally seen in the Rift, and then I would actually mirror what I was seeing on my computer screen to the Rift, and was a little bit fiddly to kind of do that. You know, you are having to basically make the Rift part of your desktop, and obviously it's almost impossible to kind of use that as your desktop because right now the resolution is too low, which I will come to later. But on the software side, I think they have work to do, and I think they need to get it so that all developers are using a consistent way of making the device work, because right now you have to do different things for each software depending on what the developer has decided to do. So yeah, that's the software. Now, as far as actually using it, I mean, the quality of the tracking is something that really struck me. It definitely feels one-to-one. You know, when you turn your head 90 degrees to the right, it feels like you are turning your head 90 degrees to the right in the game world. It literally feels like the tracking is perfect. I can't use another word except from perfect. No matter what direction I looked in, even if I was looking directly behind me, anything like that, the device knew where it was within my room, you know, my office here, and it put my head in the correct place in the game. I really can't say perfect enough when I'm kind of describing that, and that really helps with the actual immersion too, because that is perfect as well. I honestly, I can't say enough how surprised I was, like the first time that I powered up the Elite Dangerous game, which was kind of fiddly to get working, but I eventually got it working. And I was familiar with the cockpit of those spaceships because I've been playing that game, you know, I probably more than anything else lately, and I knew those cockpits pretty well, but I knew them in 2D, and then all of a sudden I put this device on my head and I'm sat in those spaceships, like literally, like the foam kind of blacks out almost all of your vision except from a little sliver beside your nose, and I can't really express to you the feeling that I had when I put this device on and I was in those spaceship cockpits, because the only way I can describe it is that I was in those cockpits. It's that much of an immersive experience putting this thing on. I can't really say anything more than that. Now, the issue with that, of course, is that you can't see the outside world. You can't actually, I couldn't see my office, and like I said, there is a little sliver of vision that you have next to your nose, so I did, you know, when I lost like the WASD keys or anything like that, I actually would quickly go like this and look down my nose and, you know, be able to see the keyboard. But as much as the technology is fantastic, that's obviously a downside of it. You know, if you are putting on a virtual headset, you're basically saying to your wife, girlfriend, whatever, I'm not going to do a damn thing that you shout at me while I have this device on, because I can't see anything. I'm probably going to be wearing headphones as well, so or, you know, whatever way that you're obviously going to get your audio, and the chances are is that when you put this on, you're going to have to allocate yourself time to not do anything else, because, you know, it's not like when I'm playing with a track IR right now. You know, if my daughter comes into my office and asks me a question, I can just turn and answer her. When I had this thing on, I felt like I was fairly regularly having to lift it up to talk to someone, because I have this instinct to look at them while I'm talking to them, obviously. And that was definitely an issue. It's not much of a downside because obviously when you're using the device for what you're using it for, it doesn't matter that you can't use it for something else. But still, it's obviously something that I wanted to mention. Now, the device doesn't have any noticeable kind of latency issues that I noticed. It seemed like both the head tracking and the display itself was absolutely sharp. I didn't notice any kind of screen tearing or anything silly like that I kind of expected on a prototype. But you know, nothing like that was there. Now, the main issue that this device has is the resolution, 100%. And basically, I ended up getting like eye strain headaches from basically trying to concentrate and see little text and read it, even though in a game like Elite Dangerous I actually knew what that text said. I would still be looking at it and kind of concentrating, and it's kind of like squinting while you're looking into the sun, you know, and you eventually get a headache. That's what I got from this device, and it's because of the resolution. So they definitely have to up the resolution quite a bit, and it was difficult in a game like Elite Dangerous. There was certain times when a spaceship that I was trying to fight, it would get to a certain distance and then I couldn't actually spot the ship, and that's obviously an issue too. There was times when I had the power set a certain way in the ship UI, and I meant to change it a different way, and I would look at the UI and think I'd done it, when in fact, you know, if I looked closer I hadn't. So basically you can't see most games UI with the device right now. It's just not high enough resolution. So that's an issue, and obviously the headaches that come from that are obviously an issue with this prototype device, but I'm sure they're going to release a version with more resolution that isn't an issue. Now, like I said, I've been trying this in Elite Dangerous, and I think that games that have a cockpit that have some kind of frame of reference that's kind of around you, I think that helps with motion sickness quite a lot, because when you move around the game world, you're basically moving the ship with you, and wherever you turn, you know, there's a cockpit around you. But and you know, I basically had no motion sickness issues with with anything that I tried that had a cockpit. You know, I tried a racing simulation called Live for Speed, which you know, it's actually from another studio to the studio I work for, because I work for a racing simulation developer as well, but we don't have it fully implemented yet. But the Live for Speed developers do, and their implementation is absolutely fantastic. And like I said, with a visible cockpit, a frame of reference that kind of gives your brain, probably fools your brain into thinking that you're not moving, the outside world is, it really gets rid of any motion sickness. And on that note, first-person shooters are in trouble, because every single time that I didn't have something around me and I was just kind of floating through space, you know, and kind of able to look all around without anything closer that was actually moving with me, I got very sick. You know, the first time that I used the Oculus Rift, and I was in the Tuscany kind of villa demo, when I went down the stairs, my stomach rolled over. It literally made me feel sick, and this is coming from someone that I used to live in Northern Ireland, and I'm obviously from England, and I would go on ferry crossings and everybody else would be throwing up and I was fine. And I've never actually had any serious motion sickness whatsoever, and this device did make me feel very sick, but only when I didn't have a nearby frame of reference that was moving with me. So I don't know what developers can really do to get around that issue, whether there might be some on-screen display that they can show. They might be able to, like the old Call of Duty games, the really old Call of Duty games. You used to see kind of the hand and gun in front of the screen wherever you moved. They might have to do that with every first-person shooter game in order to get rid of the motion sickness. And yeah, that's really a major downside for a lot of gamers. For me, it's not. I tend to play racing simulations, space simulations. I don't often play first-person shooters. So it's not really a problem for me, but I know it will be for a lot of gamers. Now, the price, I mean, every price estimation that I've seen so far is really reasonable, like very, very reasonable, and that's surprising. You know, for the experience that even this prototype has given me, I'm quite happy with what the DK2 costs. I think, you know, if you have the money to pay for this prototype to give it a try, you can probably sell it when you're done with it, although I don't think Oculus actually support resold versions. You know, this is an awesome device, you know, and to have experienced it, I actually feel like I've gained something because of that. And obviously the main thing that I've gained is that I'm not a skeptic anymore. I now actually have quite a bit of faith in this technology. If the resolution increases, then it's probably going to be my primary device for playing Elite Dangerous eventually, when the resolution is obviously higher, and I think it might even be my primary device for playing racing simulations as well. The only kind of issue really is that you can't really capture footage from your gameplay that looks any good at all on YouTube or anything like that. It's all right now it's fairly low resolution as well, obviously, but you know, you basically have to show only one eye's vision and then your own face, and that's really all you can show. It would be kind of nice if they could work out a way to show one eye's worth at full resolution on maybe a third screen or a separate screen or something, because I think it would help for people to be able to see the benefits of this technology and the quick head tracking and things like that if it was possible to kind of capture fuller resolution. I don't know, maybe I'm kind of rambling a little bit right now, but anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, I'm not a skeptic anymore. I'm not. Okay, thank you, bye.